Jessie stared at the shoes of the man who had just walked into the basement cell. Even though thick steel bars stood between them, the fury inside her burned straight through. That man, Dominic Valmores, was the one who had locked her down in this underground prison after she tried to kill him during a private meeting. A powerful businessman, owner of the same company her father used to work for, the company that had fired her dad when he was accused of embezzlement. Her father had been entrusted with a financial project. In the end, he was blamed, lost his job, fell sick, and finally took his own life. And the man standing across from her, he was the face of that downfall. Jessie's grip tightened on the cold iron bars. She glared at him, anger surging from every pore. Dominic spoke with calm authority. "Good evening, Miss Jessie Walker. It's been a month since you tried to kill me. You're looking thin. Haven't been eating." She didn't answer. Her gaze sharpened. "You're good with a gun," he went on. "Was it your father who taught you? He was an ex-soldier, wasn't he?" Her fists clenched. She stormed closer and gripped the bars until her knuckles turned white. "Why am I here?" she snapped. "Why didn't you turn me over to the police? What the hell do you want from me?" Dominic gave a small, knowing smile. "You planned to kill me because you think your father was innocent. But, sweetheart, your father was a thief. That's the truth. Rich people like me, yeah, we get blamed all the time. But your dad, he stole from my company. He admitted it. He accepted the termination. I could have had him imprisoned, but I didn't. I showed mercy. And he chose to end his life." Jessie's voice rose. "He wasn't that kind of man. He worked for your people, your kind. Ever since he started working for wealthy scum like you, our lives started to fall apart." Dominic's expression didn't change. "You poor child. I didn't know your father had such a foolish and naive daughter." Jessie growled, "If you're just here to insult me, get it over with. If not, turn me over to the damn authorities." "I didn't report you," Dominic said, voice steady, "because I realized I could use you." Jessie's jaw tightened. "Use me? For what?" "You're good with a weapon," he said. "If your aim had been better, I'd be dead. But I know it was just emotion that drove you. I saw it in your eyes. You're not a killer." She said nothing. "I'm not blaming you for what your father did, but he did steal from me, and there's evidence. If you want it, I'll show it to you." Jessie's grip on the bars only tightened more. I know he did wrong, but he was still my father, and he left me. I can't forgive him for that. He got sick, guilt ate him alive, and he chose the easy way out." "And now," Dominic said calmly, "you blame me for everything." "What the hell do you want from me?" she demanded again. He smiled faintly. "I have 4 children. One of them has lost his way. He's reckless, a disgrace to my name. And he's always under threat. His life is a mess. He's my 3rd son, Andrew Helton Valmers. He's about your age." Jessie narrowed her eyes. "You can walk out of this cell," Dominic continued, "if you agree to marry him, straighten him out, protect him, be the reason he changes, be the shield between him and the people who want him dead." Jessie's jaw dropped. "You're insane. You'd let someone who just tried to kill you into your family? What if I try again once I'm free?" Dominic chuckled and shook his head. "You won't. You're not a murderer, Jessie. You were angry, that's all. I don't believe you'll hurt me again. Not after you learn the full truth." Jessie's voice dropped to a low growl. "I don't want anything to do with your family. Your name destroyed mine." "Then go ahead," Dominic said. "Stay here, live in this darkness, waste away, or take the offer." Jessie hesitated. Her pride clawed at her chest. But the idea of staying here, with no light, no air, no freedom, it chilled her more than the idea of marrying some degenerate son. She swallowed hard. "Show me the evidence, and you better be sure you're not setting me up. If I say yes, you won't seek revenge? He smiled. Why would I do that? You'd be family. I don't hurt family. Jessie inhaled sharply. If she stayed in this cell, she'd die. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but the slow rot would kill her. I'll do it, she muttered. I'll marry your son. Dominic nodded approvingly. He showed her the evidence, a file filled with records, screenshots, and, most damning of all, a video of her father confessing. Jessie watched it all with trembling hands. Her father didn't just act alone. There were others, but he had led the fraud. She felt her knees weaken. She'd built her entire rage on a lie. Dominic stood silently as she took it all in. I should have been the one in jail, she whispered. Find someone else for your son. I'm guilty too, for trying to kill someone who didn't deserve it. You're the only one who can handle him, Dominic said. I don't need someone soft and delicate. I need someone strong. You're the only one who can fix my son. Jessie didn't reply. Now that you've agreed, Dominic added, you'll meet him tomorrow, though I'll have to send someone to go find him. That bastard son of mine is probably off somewhere partying. Andrew stumbled into the mansion's living room, his shirt wrinkled, eyes hazy from alcohol. Two of Dominic's men held him up by the arms. Jessie stood at the top of the stairs, frozen in disbelief. So this was the man she was going to marry? Andrew laughed, his face red from drinking. Why am I back in this hellhole again? I want to go to heaven. Dominic shook his head in frustration. This is so freaking frustrating. The two guards dropped Andrew onto the sofa, nearly sending him tumbling over. Jessie stayed still, watching the miserable scene unfold. Andrew, Dominic said coldly, you really like pushing my buttons, don't you? Chill, Dad, Andrew slurred. I was just enjoying life. He grinned like a mischievous child. I'm not like your other boring kids. No social life, no excitement. At least I bring some fun to this family. Dominic grabbed a newspaper from the coffee table and shoved it in his son's face. Look at this. You're on the front page again. He read the headline out loud. Andrew Helton Valmers, son of Dominic Valmers, caught wearing only underwear on the street. Dominic's eyes blazed. You're a disgrace! Andrew howled with laughter and pulled the newspaper off his face. It was a dare, Dad. I got a whole $1 from the guys. Come on, let me enjoy life. I've waited long enough, Dominic snapped. You're 27 years old. You should be growing up, not acting like a damn fool. Andrew leaned back and looked up at the ceiling. Jessie stood quietly in the background. Dominic's voice turned cold. Your bride is here. It's time for you to grow up. You're wasting your potential. Andrew sat up, then paused when he noticed Jessie. His smirk faded for a second. He nearly fell as he stood, locking his eyes on her. And who is this gorgeous lady? His voice softened, eyes sparkling as he stepped closer. Am I in heaven already? He said dreamily. Because I'm seeing an angel. Can I touch? He didn't finish. Jessie pointed a shotgun directly at his face. The others gasped, but no one stopped her. Wow, that's hot, Andrew said, eyes dancing as he stared down the barrel. That's my type. Fiery, fierce. If you're really gonna be my wife, he added, grinning, I'll take back every bad thing I've done. Promise. He placed a hand on his chest. Go ahead, shoot me. If you don't succeed, I'm yours forever. Then his eyes rolled back, and he collapsed on the floor, unconscious. Dominic had jabbed something into Andrew's shoulder without him noticing. I'm very sorry, Miss Walker, Dominic said. You'll talk to him tomorrow instead. Jessie nodded as Dominic's men carried Andrew away to his room. She tucked the shotgun away and sighed deeply. The next day, Jessie finally had a calm conversation with the man she was being forced to marry. Though it wasn't exactly calm, Andrew was far too excited. I think I fell in love with you the moment you pointed that shotgun at me," he said, grinning. Jessie gave him a long, silent stare. "If I didn't know you were Dominic's son, I'd think you were mentally unstable," she muttered. He smiled even wider. "You're amazing." The wedding took place in a church. It was public, formal, and carefully orchestrated to clean up Andrew's image. The press covered it thoroughly, using it to bury his scandals and restore his reputation. 3 months had passed since their marriage. Jessie's life had improved. Dominic even offered her a position in his company. But she declined. She needed to focus on her real mission, to reform Andrew. From the very first night, she refused to let him touch her. Though married by church rites, they had a contract, signed by both of them, that prohibited any physical contact. No hugging, no kissing, no sex. The marriage was valid for 1 year only, just as Jessie requested. The only purpose was to straighten Andrew out. Of course, Andrew complained. "What's the point of being married if I can't even hold your hand?" he asked. But Dominic backed Jessie. Her rules were law in their house. Jessie had done everything in the past 3 months to reform Andrew, but nothing worked. New scandals kept surfacing. "Where's Andrew?" Jessie asked one evening while cleaning her shotgun. "He's downstairs, ma'am," the housekeeper replied nervously. "Is he alone?" Jessie asked sharply. The woman hesitated. He brought a girl with him." Jessie stopped cleaning. "I'm sorry, what did you just say?" "She's with him now in the living room," the housekeeper stammered, paling. Jessie didn't answer. She marched out of the room, still wearing her satin nightwear. Thunder crashed outside, and heavy rain pounded the roof. The housemaids panicked and followed behind her. "Ma'am, please, you're not a criminal." Jessie kept walking, straight to the staircase. From the landing, she saw Andrew on the couch, practically half naked, with a woman on top of him. The woman wore heavy makeup and a microscopic dress, grinding against him while he appeared completely knocked out. Jessie paused halfway down the stairs, aimed the shotgun, and closed one eye to focus her shot. The woman kept kissing and touching Andrew. Jessie smirked, shifted the aim slightly, and shot a valuable vase near them. It shattered on the floor with a loud bang. The housemaids gasped. The woman screamed and jumped off Andrew, her eyes darting to the stairs. Her skin went pale when she saw the shotgun. Jessie strode down the stairs. Andrew groaned awake, confused. He blinked slowly. "Babe, you smell like whiskey," Jessie said. Then she turned the barrel toward the girl, who froze in terror. "Who the hell are you? Are you sleeping with my husband?" Jessie demanded. The woman gasped. "Your husband?" "No, I was just dropping him off. He's a customer at the bar. That's all, I swear." "Dropping him off?" Jessie snarled. "Then why were you kissing him, touching him? Does he even know what you're doing?" The woman shook her head frantically. "No, I just forced myself on him. He's drunk, I swear." Andrew groaned, then looked up and wrapped his arms around Jessie's waist. "Wife, you're here. They made me drink. I'm sorry. Put the shotgun down. You look even hotter when you're mad." Jessie shoved him away. He flopped onto the sofa. The girl sobbed and pleaded, "Please don't hurt me. I didn't do anything else. I promise. I'm sorry." "Leave," Jessie said coldly, lowering the gun. The woman scrambled to her feet, but Jessie stopped her. "Take off your dress." "What?" the girl asked, trembling. Jessie grinned. "Give me a souvenir. You wanted to be part of this house, right? Then leave something behind." Strip shaking, the girl removed her tiny red dress. Now in only her underwear, she handed it to Jessie and ran off, covering herself. "Someone follow her," Jessie said to one of the maids. "Make sure she doesn't freeze to death." Jessie turned back toward Andrew, who had passed out cold. His shirt buttons were torn, and his belt was barely hanging on. 3 months into marriage, and she still hadn't managed to like him. Dominic had promised she'd warm up to Andrew eventually, but so far, not even close. The next morning, Jessie was already annoyed. From her bedroom to the dining area, Andrew wouldn't stop bothering her. He still clutched the red dress the girl had left behind. "I didn't even know I came home with someone last night, Jessie," he said, following her around like a puppy. "You gotta believe me. Yeah, I'm a mess, but I'm not a womanizer. I'm still a virgin, I swear." "Eat your breakfast, Andrew," Jessie said flatly. "You'll need energy for your next girl tonight. Might as well keep up your stamina for all your late-night nonsense." His shoulders slumped. "I didn't cheat. I don't remember anything from last night. You know I only went out with friends because you said it was okay. I didn't even want to go." He frowned. "Honestly, I wish that girl had been you. But you're colder than Elsa. Not even my wildest flirty tricks get through to you." Jessie kept her eyes on her food. "Eat, Andrew." He slid next to her at the table and gave her a pitiful look. "I swear I'm not seeing anyone else. Why would I? My wife points a shotgun at me for breathing wrong. Do I look like someone dumb enough to cheat?" Jessie gave him a frosty stare. "You don't need to explain. We don't love each other. This is all just a contract." Andrew flinched. Jessie stood and cleared her plate, his fists clenched on the table. "I'm just doing what your father asked," she said. "He wants you to change. That's why he forced this marriage. So just grow up already, so we can both be done with this." She walked away without looking back. Upstairs, she entered her walk-in closet, where rows of guns lined the wall, gifts from Dominic. He'd given them to her for protection and to ensure she kept Andrew safe from outside threats. She had 9 months left to fix Andrew, to make him acceptable to his family. She was determined, even if it meant scaring him every single day. Andrew tossed the red dress into the trash. He was furious. He'd just watched the security footage from last night and saw how that girl had taken advantage of him. If Jessie hadn't shown up, he might have lost his virginity to a drunk stranger. He'd already ordered the girl to be fired from her job. He wasn't out hunting for women. He just wanted to hang out with his buddies, people he hadn't seen in a while. But one photo had blown up into a viral scandal. Usually he didn't care what the public said about him, but now he wanted everything buried, for Jessie's sake. She was already disgusted with him. He was falling hard for her, and maybe, just maybe, he was acting out just to get her attention. Last month, he had even stripped in front of her on purpose, but all she did was aim a shotgun at his crotch. Jessie was more affectionate to her guns than to him. He often caught her cleaning them with care, like they were her real babies. Now she was more distant than ever, and he was running out of time. Andrew decided to go to his father's office. "Dad, I won't disappoint you anymore," he said as he stepped inside. "You say that every day, Andrew," Dominic muttered. "And yet, here we are again, another scandal. Aren't you ashamed in front of your wife?" Andrew clenched his fists. "I know why you did this. You wanted me to change, and you thought marrying her would help. Fine, I'll do it. I'll take responsibility. I'll take back what I gave up. I'll be your heir again." Dominic looked shocked. "You mean it?" "Yes," Andrew said, "but on one condition." Dominic leaned forward. "What is it?" "I want the marriage contract changed." "What?" Dominic blinked. "I want full rights as her husband. No more restrictions. No more no-touching rules. You want me to change, right? How am I supposed to if I can't even get close to her?" He rubbed his temples. "Every time I see her, I get tight. I'm in love with her, Dad. I'm losing my mind." Dominic smirked. "You like Jessie?" "I do. A lot." Dominic's eyes narrowed. "That won't be easy, son. I don't want to lose her trust. You touch her the wrong way, and she'll put a bullet in you." "I thought you were the one who ordered her to marry me. Can't you give her new orders now?" Dominic laughed. "She's not a robot, and you're not a child anymore. Do the work yourself." He opened a drawer and tossed a contract on the desk. Here, you want a new deal? Write one. I'm not helping you anymore. Andrew grabbed the paper and ripped it up. Dominic shook his head as his son walked out the door. Fine, Andrew thought. I'll write a new one. Just wait, Jessie. You're the one I'm going to tame, not the other way around. Jessie was cleaning one of her guns in her room when Andrew walked in. She froze when she saw him. It had been a week since that incident, and this was the first time they saw each other again. He hesitated, but then walked closer. Something was different. He wasn't smiling. I'm going to change, he said. I'm sorry if I hurt you. That girl last time, she wasn't my girlfriend. She forced herself on me. I was drunk. Jessie looked at him blankly. Why would I be hurt? It's not like I love you. Andrew's jaw clenched. He stepped forward, more serious than she'd ever seen him. You don't have a choice but to love me. You're married to me. She didn't respond, just kept cleaning. I spoke to Dad the other day, he said, handing her a document. He told me I'm free to do what I want with this marriage now. Jessie frowned. So what are you going to do? Mess around more? Make more trouble for your dad? No, Andrew said. I want to change, just like you asked. I'm serious. I'm going back to work at the company. I didn't ask for anything, Jessie said flatly. I just want you to notice me, Andrew said. That's all I've ever wanted in this marriage. She looked at him now. He sat beside her, took the gun from her hands, and set it aside. Then he held her hand. I won't do anything to hurt my dad or my wife anymore. No more scandals, no more headlines. I'm done with that life. She wasn't sure whether to believe him. He smiled faintly. Just pay attention to me. Let me get close. Don't point your gun at me every time I try to kiss you. Jessie raised an eyebrow. What's your point? Andrew handed her the document. She opened it and scanned the contents. It was a new agreement, a new marriage contract. She stared at him. Why do we need this? We already have one. That one's done. This is new. I want to be your real husband. Here are the do's and don'ts. This time, we can kiss, hug, sleep in the same bed. And the last part, make love. Jessie's face darkened. She flipped to the end of the contract. Have a baby? She read aloud. She handed the contract back. I'm not doing that. We have a 1-year contract marriage. I'm not getting pregnant. I need a child for my future, Andrew said, and I can't exactly get someone else pregnant. You're my wife. Do you want to get shot? Jessie asked coldly. He smirked, flicked her forehead. Don't threaten me with your shotgun, Jessie. I've got a weapon of my own, and when it fires, your stomach gets bigger. Jessie's jaw dropped. She reached for her gun, but before she could grab it, Andrew tackled her onto the bed and pinned her arms to the sheets. What the hell are you doing? I'm your husband, he said. Aren't you supposed to reform me? He leaned in, his face close to hers. It's been months, and you haven't succeeded. Maybe it's time to act like a real wife so I can finally change. He kissed her, hard and without permission. Jessie froze in shock. She couldn't move. He was stronger. When he pulled back, she was speechless. He grinned. Just one kiss and I already feel reformed. Andrew rolled off and sat at the edge of the bed. Let's make a deal, Jessie. She stared at him, confused. Something about him today really was different, especially with that new contract in his hand. He explained the terms. If she gave him a child and acted like a real wife, she'd receive $5 million when the contract ended. He promised to change, if she agreed to put away the guns and stop shutting him out. Jessie signed the contract. She looked him in the eye. Are you serious about changing? Andrew nodded. Yeah, I got what I wanted. She narrowed her eyes. What exactly did you get? He smiled. If you fall in love with me, that's a bonus, but I won't ask for it, not when our marriage has an expiration date. Jessie pulled him toward her. He looked surprised. This is what you want, right? To touch me, to be close. Fine, I'll give you that. But in return, you fix yourself. She kissed him first. He got what he wanted. Jessie didn't make things difficult. It was only natural. After all, they were married. But just because getting shot hurt didn't mean intimacy didn't hurt either. She sat up in bed, wincing slightly, while Andrew slept peacefully beside her. His face looked so innocent when he slept. It was hard to believe he was the family's biggest troublemaker. She didn't know why she agreed so easily. Was it the money? Number. She just wanted to believe him when he said he would change. She wanted to believe that once the contract was over, she could leave in peace. She looked at herself in the mirror. There was only one thing she couldn't promise him. She wouldn't give him a child. She had no plans to get pregnant, not when they'd be separating anyway. While Andrew slept, Jessie left the room to buy birth control pills. When Jessie returned, Andrew was already in the living room. Her hand clenched around the pill pack in her pocket as she saw him stand and approach. "Where have you been?" he asked, face serious. "I went out to buy something," she said. "What did you buy? Why didn't you wake me up?" Jessie forced a smile. "You were sleeping soundly. I didn't want to disturb you." "You still should have woken me." His expression shifted. "Does it still hurt?" Jessie's face flushed as she quickly covered his mouth with her hand. She glanced at the housemaids nearby, especially at Susan, who was clearly holding back a grin. Andrew took her hand, kissed the back of it, and smiled wickedly. "I still can't believe I made you cry last night. All I needed was my weapon, huh?" Jessie hit him on his arm, stunning everyone in the room. Even Andrew froze in disbelief. "What?" he asked. "What did I do?" "You hurt me last night," Jessie said, and brushed past him. In her entire life, she'd never imagined she'd be in a romantic relationship, especially not with someone like Andrew, a man who probably had women throwing themselves at him daily. But ever since she dropped her defenses, he'd been more daring than ever. All he had wanted was to be near her, to be a real husband, and little by little, despite her resistance, he was starting to move her heart in unexpected ways. He had kept his promise. After 5 months of being married, he had gone quiet. No more news articles, no more scandals. It was a complete turnaround. He greeted her each morning with a kiss on the forehead, cooked meals for her, gave her flowers. He was doing all the things a husband should. He was serious about having a child, and Jessie had started to feel nervous. She still hadn't gotten pregnant. Of course, that was because she had secretly been taking pills. "We should go get checked," Andrew said, while they were by the pool one day. He climbed out of the water and walked over to her. Jessie handed him a towel. "We've been doing it constantly," he said. "But you're still not pregnant. Maybe there's something wrong with one of us." Jessie bit her lip. "Maybe we're both fine." "Yeah, maybe," Andrew said. "But we should make sure." She looked up at him. "What if I can't get pregnant? What would you do?" Andrew looked at her for a long moment, then sighed and draped an arm around her shoulders. "Then we won't have a kid," he said simply. Jessie blinked. "What?" "You're more important to me," he said softly, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "I can't imagine having a child with anyone else. If it's not possible, then so be it." Jessie narrowed her eyes. "So what? The agreement means nothing now?" "That's only if you can't get pregnant," he said. "But I'm not going to force you. I'm just glad I'm no longer the reckless guy I used to be." He hugged her, soaking her clothes in the process. "You know," he said, "I'm so damn attractive that people keep trying to kill me. Even wives of my enemies are obsessed with me. I just got a new death threat. They said they're going to blow up my car, with you in it. One even said they'll poison me. Someone tried to sabotage one of my cars last week. Jessie's smile vanished. She pulled away from him. That's not funny, Andrew. That's serious. She knew about the threats he used to receive before they got married, but this sounded worse. Andrew stepped closer and cupped her face. They're just threats, Jessie. Nothing to worry about. I've got eyes on me all the time, and I've got a badass wife. No one's killing me that easy. Jessie wanted to roll her eyes. His father had almost been killed once. She had managed to sneak into that resort by pretending to be a worker, and even then, she had a pistol hidden on her body. Don't worry, he said. Nothing's going to happen to me. Not until we have our baby. Still, Jessie couldn't shake the unease she felt after hearing those threats. Later, when she stepped outside, she found a large note pinned to the gate. It read, R.I.P. Andrew. A chill ran down her spine. She immediately became alert. With Andrew at the office, she couldn't hold back any longer. She went to see Dominic at his house to talk, but stopped when she overheard voices from inside his office. Are you seriously handing over the company to Andrew? It was Arnold, Dominic's eldest son from another woman. Dominic had 2 other children from different relationships before marrying Andrew's mother. I thought the company was going to me. Andrew doesn't deserve it. He's been nothing but a scandal. I worked hard. I studied business. Why him? Dominic cut him off. Stop talking, Arnold. You've always known who my successor would be. Andrew's changing. He's serious now. You've seen how good he is in business. Arnold's voice rose. I'm your eldest. Maybe not from your wife, but I'm still your firstborn. I should be the heir. I'm not abandoning you, Dominic said. I met your mother when you were in your senior year of high school. I'm giving you opportunities too. I don't want opportunities, Arnold snapped. I want the company. That's all I've ever wanted. Just then, the door opened and Arnold walked out, only to find Jessie standing right there. He stopped, jaw tightening. You're Andrew's wife, right? Jessie didn't answer. This is all your fault, Arnold said, his voice sharp. You're the reason he changed. Damn it! He stormed past her. Jessie stared after him, brows furrowed. Then she walked into Dominic's office. The man looked stressed, but when he saw her, his face brightened. Jessie, he said, what are you doing here? Does Andrew know? She shook her head. He's busy at the company. Dominic smiled. Because of you, my son finally straightened out. He's great in business now, Jessie. He's working hard. I couldn't do the same with Arnold. His head's too hard. But you changed Andrew in just 5 months. He leaned back in his chair. His past scandals, they're all buried now because of what he's doing with his life. Jessie didn't speak. What brings you here? Dominic asked. Is something wrong? Andrew's getting death threats again, she said. He brushes it off, but I'm worried, and now I hear you're handing him the company instead of the eldest. I'm afraid this might bring new trouble. Dominic looked her in the eye. You love my son. It wasn't a question, it was a statement. Jessie didn't answer, as Dominic straightened up in his chair. Andrew was the first child I had to my knowledge. When I married his mother, he became my eldest in every way. I prepared him from a young age for what would come. I pushed him to study, to prepare. Then, when he got to high school, a woman showed up saying she had my child, Arnold. I was terrified. I didn't cheat, but my reckless past caught up. Jessie listened silently. My wife accepted it. Andrew and Archie were even excited to have older brothers. But after living under one roof, things turned cold. Andrew even wanted to give everything to Arnold to make peace. That's why he acted out. He wanted to escape it all. Jessie nodded. That makes sense. But I can't give the company to anyone else. Andrew worked for this, and he has a good heart. He's kind, and I know my legacy will flourish under him. He studied abroad to learn how to handle a business. I won't hand it to a greedy kid who only met me in high school, and barely understands what he's doing. That wouldn't be fair. Jessie lowered her eyes. What about the threats? Don't worry about them, Dominic said. He's my son. I'll protect him. Just stay by his side until the contract ends. Then you're free, or it depends on Andrew. What do you mean? If anyone threatens my son, use your skills. You nearly shot me once. Death threats should be nothing to you. I trust you, Jessie, and I trust my men. Most of all, I trust Andrew. He won't let anything happen to both of you. On her way out of Dominic's mansion, she was ambushed by Arnold at the entrance. How much did my dad pay you to marry my brother? He said. Jessie narrowed her eyes at the voice. What? Leave my brother. I'll give you 20 million. That should be enough for you to live a quiet life. Jessie crossed her arms. And what makes you think I'd accept that? Because you don't really love Andrew. You married him because you owed my father. I know, Miss Walker. I know things that could put you behind bars. Jessie's fists clenched. What do you want? I already told you. Leave my brother. Her gaze darkened. Are you the one sending him those death threats? Arnold looked caught off guard. What? Jessie exhaled. Goodbye. She started to walk away, but he grabbed her shoulder aggressively and spun her to face him. Don't walk away from me. What gives you the right to accuse me? You think I'd kill my own brother? Jessie stared at him coldly and peeled his hand off her shoulder, dusting off the fabric like she was brushing away filth. He looked insulted. You're so full of yourself. You're just a woman. He reached toward her again, but someone grabbed her first. What the hell are you doing, Arnold? Andrew's voice rang out as he pulled Jessie behind him. Tension snapped between the brothers. Arnold smirked. Nothing. Just saying hi to your beautiful wife. Never thought someone like her could straighten you out. He turned and walked away without another word. Andrew said nothing as they sat in the car later. Jessie kept glancing at him, hoping he'd talk. But he didn't. She thought they were headed home, but he pulled into a mall parking lot instead. Why are we here? She wondered. He didn't look in the mood for shopping. Even with an annoyed face, he was still the one who reached across and unfastened her seatbelt. Are you mad? She asked. He didn't reply. He got out of the car. Jessie followed quickly, catching up. Andrew, wait. She grabbed his hand. He stopped and looked at her. Why were you there? He asked. Why were you talking to my brother? Is that bad? I don't want you near him. You don't know him like I do. Is there something I should know? There's nothing, he said firmly. You just need to focus on me. I'm your husband. Jessie blinked. I like you, Andrew. No, I'm in love with you. He stared at her. I wouldn't be doing all of this if you hadn't made me fall for your wild charm. It's your fault. She teased. Even when you had a gun pointed at you, you didn't care. You just kept trying. I hate it when anyone else gets your attention, he muttered. That's why I like keeping you home all the time. Jessie laughed. Why are you suddenly so jealous? He frowned. You're smiling too much. She giggled. What, I'm not allowed to smile now? He turned away and walked off. She chased after him and hugged him from behind, right in front of the public. A few passers-by recognized Andrew and stared. Don't be so jealous, she said with a big grin. I won't let anyone else have me, and despite how annoying you are sometimes, I like you. Andrew turned around. Really? Jessie nodded. He took her hand. Come on, you're not busy today, right? Let's go on a date. He pouted playfully, trying not to smile. Seriously? Yup. Jessie pulled him toward the mall. Let's go. Maybe it wasn't so bad to be happy. Even with her heart cold as ice, Andrew somehow found a way to thaw it. And now that it was melting, she couldn't deny the feeling anymore. It wasn't just liking, it was more than that. In 6 months, she had become a real wife to him. She cooked for him, picked out his clothes, sent him off with breakfast each morning. She never thought she'd actually like being someone's wife. But this was the life her father always dreamed for her, to end up with a good man and build a family. The thought of it erased all memory of the expiration date on their contract. She no longer drank her pills. She wanted to give Andrew the child he longed for. From the moment they got married, Andrew's life had stopped being difficult. Maybe it was because his wife was beautiful and understanding. At first, he had avoided responsibilities meant for him. He thought his brother Arnold deserved the company more and just wanted to live peacefully and freely. But after Jessie came into his life, everything changed. It felt embarrassing to rely only on his looks, so he decided to take back what had always been meant for him. Once he started stepping into his role, Arnold's anger followed. That's why Andrew wasn't surprised to receive those death threats. He had people he trusted checking into who was behind them. He'd even intentionally pulled his bodyguards away, hoping the perpetrator would come closer. He wanted to see for himself who was really behind it. He smiled as he inhaled the scent of the flowers he had just bought. He was in the parking lot outside his father's company building, about to surprise Jessie with them. Now that she had softened up a bit, she had started accepting flowers and small, sweet gestures. "Andrew, you've really changed. You don't even go drinking with us anymore," said Rocky, one of his old friends, walking over with a sly grin. "You used to be the one dragging us out, and now we don't hear from you. Let's go have a drink. We miss you, man." "Sorry, Rocky," Andrew replied with a grin. "I miss my wife more. Maybe next time. She comes first now." Ray let out a dramatic sigh, and the two friends laughed as Andrew got into his car and drove off. He would see them again soon, but right now he didn't want to waste a second. Jessie might already be asleep, and he wanted to catch her while she was still awake. The house was mostly dark when he arrived. It was late. Everyone was probably already in bed. Hopefully, Jessie was still awake. He smiled and headed to the second floor, where their bedroom was. As he entered, he heard the sound of running water from the bathroom. "She's taking a shower," he thought, biting his lower lip to suppress a grin. He placed the bouquet and gift bag on the bed and took off his shirt, ready to change clothes. He opened his section of the closet. Though technically it was Jessie's room, he had moved some of his clothes in. He hummed softly as he searched through his folded shirts, when something fell to the floor with a soft thud. It was a small box. He picked it up, eyebrows drawing together as he read the label. Pills. That's why she hadn't gotten pregnant. She'd been taking birth control. The bathroom door opened. Jessie walked out, dressed in fresh clothes. She smiled when she saw him, but the moment her eyes landed on the box in his hand, her expression changed. Her smile disappeared. Her face turned pale. "Andrew, I thought I was the one with a problem," he said, laughing bitterly. "You were taking pills this whole time?" "I didn't want to have a baby," she whispered. "I kept telling you that, but you wouldn't listen." "You could have told me." His voice cracked with emotion. "Instead, you let me think I was the issue. You lied." Jessie looked away. "Cry," Andrew snapped. "At least cry, damn it. Do you even love me? Or were you just doing this because my dad told you to?" "You already know the answer, Andrew," she said quietly. "I don't need to say it." "Get out," he said. Jessie gasped. "What?" "I want to be alone. Leave the room." "This is my room." "Well, this is my house," he shouted. Jessie flinched at the volume of his voice. "Just leave." She nodded without another word and walked out, leaving him behind, utterly crushed. He looked at the pillbox again, then threw it in the trash. His eyes landed on the bouquet and the gift he had brought. He sank onto the bed, hands gripping his head. They'd even gone to church together to pray for a child, and now he knew she never intended to get pregnant at all. He sat there, staring at the gifts, feeling like a fool. After some time, he took a deep breath and stood. He needed to calm down. Then he'd talk to her, but as he moved to open the door, something caught his attention. The window. It was open. Before he could react, a gun was aimed directly at him. "Andrew," said Arnold, stepping into the room, a glove on his hand and a pistol in his grip. "Didn't think I could get into your mansion this easily, huh?" Andrew glared at him. "Where are my guards?" "Useless. 1 punch each and they're out cold." "You really came here to kill me?" "I wouldn't have to if you'd just tell Dad to give me the company." "I gave that up before," Andrew said coldly. "But now I want it, and I earned it." Arnold's eyes narrowed. "Tell him to give it to me, or I blow your head off." "Lower your weapon, Mr. Arnold," came Jessie's voice from behind. Arnold turned. She was standing at the doorway, shotgun aimed directly at his head. He laughed. "You think you can shoot me? Most women are pathetic with guns." "You'll die first," Jessie said firmly. Arnold turned back to Andrew. "Fine, then you die now." He raised his pistol, but Andrew kicked it from his hand, sending it flying under the bed. Arnold growled and pulled out a second gun from his jacket. He fired. Andrew dodged just in time. Jessie pulled another shotgun from behind her and fired. The bullet hit Arnold's leg. He cried out in pain. Andrew dove under the bed, grabbed the pistol he had knocked away earlier, and pointed it at his brother, who was now bleeding on the floor. "Jessie, get out of here," Andrew shouted. "Call the cops." "What?" Arnold gasped, still clutching his leg. "You're seriously going to kill your own brother?" "When have you ever treated me like a brother?" Andrew shouted. Jessie stood frozen, face pale. "Jessie, are you okay?" Andrew called to her. She didn't answer. Arnold raised his gun and fired again. Andrew ducked. Then he looked down and realized his own leg had been hit. Blood ran down his calf. Jessie, now sweating and trembling, aimed the shotgun again. "What happened to you, Jessie?" Arnold taunted. "I thought you were supposed to be the best. You look like you're about to faint." Jessie didn't speak. Arnold laughed. "Scared now? I bet you couldn't even shoot a bird." Jessie fired again, straight into Arnold's hand, knocking his gun away. He fell to his knees, howling in pain. But Jessie suddenly collapsed. Andrew, despite the pain in his leg, crawled to her. He pulled her into his arms. "Jessie, what happened? Jessie!" His voice shook. He looked down and saw blood on her stomach. She had been shot. "Jessie, stay with me. Don't close your eyes. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell earlier. Please don't go." Jessie passed out in his arms. Arnold, still laughing like a maniac despite his injuries, shouted, "Look at that! My baby brother, all grown up." Andrew wanted to shoot him, drag him to the cops himself, but he didn't, not with Jessie in his arms. Police sirens echoed outside. Dominic entered with officers and medics. Everyone was taken to the hospital. "Who called the police?" Andrew asked weakly. "Jessie did," Dominic said. "She called me, said you threw her out and she was going to stay at my place, but she changed her mind when she saw your guards knocked out. She called 911. Andrew's mouth fell open. He looked down at Jessie, still unconscious but being treated by doctors. "She saved me. Again." Dominic nodded. "She loves you, Andrew. You can see it. Don't let whatever she did ruin what you have." He turned toward the door. "Focus on your recovery, and hers. I'll take care of Arnold." "I'm stepping back from the company for now," Andrew said. "I need to take care of my wife." Dominic smiled. "Good, I've got it covered, son." Andrew held Jessie's hand and kissed it. "I'm sorry, Jessie. I love you. If you don't want a child, that's okay. Just wake up. Please wake up." A doctor entered. Andrew rushed over. "Will she wake up?" he asked. The doctor nodded. "She's stable. Luckily, we treated her in time. But also, congratulations, Mr. Valmors. Your wife is pregnant. Jessie woke up in a room bathed in white light. Her vision was still blurry, but when it cleared, she realized she wasn't in her bedroom. She was in a hospital. Right. Arnold had shot her. She touched her stomach instinctively, wincing. Then she saw Andrew, sitting quietly beside her. She sat up quickly. Andrew rushed over and helped her. "What are you doing here?" she asked, avoiding his eyes. "Go. Leave." From the corner of her eye, she saw him flinch. She glanced at his leg, noticing it had already been treated. "I'm sorry," he said, catching her off guard. "I didn't mean it. I love you, Jessie. I'm sorry I got angry." "It's fine," she said coldly. "Just go." "I won't," he said, gripping her hand. "I'm not going anywhere. I love you, even if you point a gun at me every day. Just don't push me away, especially now that we're starting a family." Jessie let out a short laugh. "You saw the pills. You know I was taking them. I can't be pregnant." Andrew smirked. "Maybe you forgot one." He held her hand tighter. "Why didn't you tell me you were pregnant? You had to get shot before I found out." Jessie looked at him. His gaze was soft, not like the night he'd found the pills. That night, he had looked like a man betrayed. "I was going to tell you," she said. "But then you saw the pills. I knew you wouldn't listen to anything after that." She sighed. "Just leave. I can raise this baby alone." Andrew shook his head. "No way. That's not just your baby. I helped make it. You think I'll let you raise my kid by yourself?" Jessie looked away. "There are only a few months left in our marriage contract. You said you'd take the baby when it's born." "I'm not doing that," Andrew said seriously. "Forget the contract. We're not ending this. I'm not letting you go. I love you, Jessie." He took a deep breath. "I'm tearing up the contract. I want a real marriage, a forever one. We're staying married, not because of an agreement, but because I love you." The heaviness in Jessie's chest melted. "You really love me?" she asked. "I love you so much," he said. "I can't lose you, Jessie. I won't let you go." She smiled softly and reached up to touch his cheek. "I know you've been wanting to hear this for a long time. I love you too, Andrew, and I'm sorry I lied about the pills. I did plan to get pregnant. I just forgot to throw them away." Andrew hugged her tight. "Arnold's going to pay for what he did. He shot you while you were carrying my child. He's not getting away with that." Jessie leaned into him. "Now that there's a life growing inside me, promise me you'll protect us." The investigation revealed that all the death threats Andrew had received, even before the marriage, had been sent by Arnold. Even though he was Dominic's son, Dominic didn't show him mercy. He had him imprisoned. Arnold's mother begged for her son, but Dominic didn't listen. He wouldn't risk anyone in his family getting hurt again. Jessie stayed in the hospital for a week. When she was finally discharged, the staff at the mansion threw a welcome party. They had learned she was pregnant and were genuinely happy for her. The scandal involving Andrew had ended for good. In its place came blessings. Andrew didn't return to work immediately. He wanted to focus on Jessie and their child. At the same time, they began processing their documents to relocate to another country. They needed a quieter life. "Can you believe it?" Jessie said, lying in bed with Andrew one night. 5 months along and we're moving abroad next week." Andrew sat up beside her, nodding. "Of course, we'll visit again someday, but for now I want a peaceful life for us. I just want to visit my dad's grave before we leave. I want to say goodbye properly." Andrew nodded. "We'll do that, don't worry." Jessie smiled. "We'll be gone a long time. I just want him to know. He always dreamed I'd find someone good. I think he'd like you." Andrew chuckled. "What kind of guy did he want for you?" "Someone kind, someone who'd never abandon me, someone who'd treat me right, Being rich and handsome was just a bonus. She laughed quietly. I used to tell him I'd never get married. If he were alive right now, he'd probably be charging me $50,000. We had a bet. She giggled at the memory as they stood together at her father's grave. I'm leaving, Dad, Jessie whispered, going to another country with my husband and our baby. Bye, Dad, Andrew said beside her. Don't worry, I'll take care of them. They left the cemetery holding hands and headed to the airport. You excited for our new life? Andrew asked once they were at the gate. Jessie smiled. Yeah. I'm excited too, he said. It'll just be us and our baby. No scandals, no drama. Won't you go back to the company? Eventually, he said. Maybe when our kid can walk and talk. For now, I just want to be with you. He draped his arm around her shoulder as they boarded the plane, smiles on their faces, hearts finally at peace. The end. Thank you all for watching. It's your main man, Mr. Hope. I love you all.